Hello, everyone, and welcome to Nuuli Forged. We are a 5e actual play stream that takes place in the world of Nuuli, which came out of my brain, and 6 of my friends are brave enough to play in because it's Pride Month. That's why. We are down an Amber this evening. She had an unfortunate scheduling conflict, but these things happen in adult life. So, Ozo will be a bit shadowy and indistinct during tonight's game, but that's okay. In the meantime, before we begin introductions, I'm going to need somebody to roll me a D30, a D30 to get this ball rolling. And then we'll do all of the things, and it'll be great. So quiet. 1! I love it. Starting off strong. I love it. All right.
Get that out of the way early.
The meteor destroys the whole world. Curtain.
All right. Cool.
I actually de-leveled.
Everybody broke. Yes, you are all Nuuli level 5. That's also exciting. But introduce yourself, your Nuuli level 5 character, and answer the question of if a stranger knocks on your door in the middle of the night and asks you for help, do you open the door and let the stranger in? And if so, what if the stranger is a tattooed, wiry man with blood on his face? Or what if it's a wary-looking old lady? Or what if it's a 12-year-old child who keeps looking around as though someone is following him? Oh no, these poor people asking for your help. What will you do?
All 3 of these examples?
Yeah,
They're all
pick your favorite
words.
and go with it. And we're going to start at the top with Andra, with Sarah.
Oh,
even.
hey. That's me. My name is Sarah, and I play Andra Grayspark, who is a newly 5th level halfling wizard, which is very exciting. I would say she might let the first guy in, but probably she's just putting the covers over her head and ignoring people knocking on her door in the middle of the night.
Person shows up, it's like ridiculous. Yeah. I mean, how big's your apartment? Come on.
I mean, she's a fairly heavy sleeper, as we've learned, so...
Oh, well, thank you. Next up, we've got Matt.
Hi, I'm Matt. I'm playing Corvus, the changeling phantom rogue, and I don't think Corvus is opening that door. Sorry. He might find some way to sneak out his window and work your way around to the front and then spy on whoever's knocking, but he's definitely not opening the door.
Fair enough. After that, we've got Tanner.
Hi, I'm Tanner. I'm playing Lunine, the Hexblood Fey Knight. And Lunine's not opening the door for people.
He's got people
But
for
like, yep. But also like the old lady's a hag, and the child is
Come back for us.
disguised by the hag.
All right, fair enough. Next up, we got Mike.
Hello, I'm Mike. I play Renata, and I also would not open the door. I feel Renata seeks out people, but if he's at home, and people are seeking out him, he just would pretend he's not home.
Okay, fair
Turn
enough.
off the lights and don't answer.
We are
Great.
all a bunch of people who live in a city.
Next up, we've got Jeff.
Except Seladar doesn't. So I'm Jeff. I play Seladar, an elf druid. He has a wildly different background than everyone else. He definitely has learned to be a little more cautious than he was at the beginning of the game, but still, he would like open the door with the chain on it, definite insight check situation, but leaning towards helping someone that's in need.
All right. Well, and I am Jared. I am your humble dungeon master here on Nuuli Forged. I play everyone and everything else that is not the 6 player characters. And I'd like you all to know you just sentenced a man who is the victim of a mugging to be beaten by his attacker some more. an old woman who is looking for help for her husband who just had a heart attack, and a child who will now be kidnapped. All of you except for Selenar aided in those horrible, horrible events. Good job.
Hey, I said I'd go around and see what was happening outside. Maybe I would have.
Maybe you would have captured the child yourself.
And held her for ransom. Just kidding. Corvus is not into kidnappings.
That's good to know.
Yeah.
There's enough of that going on in the real world right now. So, hey. More than
right.
enough. Anyway, hi. It is a wild time, but we got to give a big shout out to Ardent Melody, who gave us a follow last week. So thank you, Ardent Melody. Much appreciated. And with that, let's dive into last time on Nuuli Forged. It's a big one. So let's find out what happened last time on Nuuli Forged. Last time on Nuuli Forged, the Dead Ringers entered the Clam, the only bar in the settlement of Shorebank, and found a large celebration occurring. It seemed that a very successful trade deal had just been established between one Rudibert Grandspark and one Captain Fierceheart. Lunine inquired about the deal and learned that part of the arrangement was an introduction to various merchants within the city of Madinat on the continent of Hesshin. Lunine asked if there might be a chance for the Dead Ringers gaining passage aboard, and Rudibert was favorable to the opportunity. Meanwhile, Ozo spotted a rather interesting familiar at the bar who was not celebrating anything beside his cups, and sidled up next to him after they spotted a medallion of some kind around this fellow's neck, a medallion that it turned out was the holy symbol of the honored champion, one of the patron deities, all of whom have sort of fallen out of favor at this point in Nuuli's history in recent years. And as the night wore on, Captain Turi Joyson also entered the bar with a gaggle of his own people, and was glad to see the Dead Ringers and asked if they had found Barl. And upon learning that his old friend was indeed a statue, he vowed to head into the jungle and retrieve him from where the party had left him. Turi had also warned Lunine that Captain Fierceheart was a rather powerful pirate, with a fleet of 4 ships under her command. The party gathered to discuss their options after a bit of drinking and performance, which resulted in a bit of tension amongst them and some hot-headed words, resulting in Corvus, who had definitely been drinking, losing his temper and coming clean with his frustrations about having snooped through the others' belonging, and also revealing the fact that he is a changeling to the entire group now. Indeed, he is in his natural state. Whether or not he relates to this identity is still to be determined, but in his natural state, he is sort of a gray-skinned humanoid with black orbs for eyes and a shock of white hair, and a form that in his adult life he has never once shown to anyone. The group took it in stride and eventually decided to take the merchant ship, the Unbroken Bow, to Hesshin, which caused Andra some bit of trepidation and tension, as she was fully aware that the ship was under the command of her brother, Rudibert Grandspark, whom she had not seen in quite a few years. But a few days passed as the Unbroken Bow unloaded the cargo for Captain Fierceheart, and the Dead Ringers have now arrived upon the ship of the Unbroken Bow, where Rudibert welcomed them only to discover that the very last person he was bringing on board was indeed his very own sister. Which is where we will pick up with Rudibert looking at Andra after you pull your head off. Andra, sister, what are you doing here?
Oh, hey, how you been?
I have been very busy. You are... Are you on a field trip or something? Why are you with these...
Yes, semester abroad.
A semester abroad?
Very abroad.
I'm learning some life skills and expanding my horizons.
But you are still under the tutelage of Imolad, yes?
Yeah, of course. I'll head back there when this journey is over.
Make a deception check at disadvantage.
I'm also interested in figuring out if this is a lie.
Yeah, if your passive insight is above a 9, you know that Andra is
Oh, okay.
lying through her
Yeah.
teeth to her brother.
Yeah, Andra, not a great liar.
And he kind of looks at you and he's like, I look forward to talking about this more, as I'm sure it's important for family reasons that you continue these studies.
I can't wait to hear how everyone has been doing. It's been some time since I've heard from anyone.
Well, we knew that you were studying in a tower that moves, so...
Exactly. So I'm glad to have the opportunity to hear how everyone's doing.
Yes, and I can't wait to hear what you've been up to with your fellow students. None of you have struck me as students of the arcane.
I have a lot to learn.
Of course.
Like our first year.
Well,
I'm just here to party.
well, you all have
Don't believe
agreed...
him. He throws magic sometimes too.
Yes. Well, Mr. Soul Angel, of course, you have agreed to entertain my crew during the evenings from time to time during your travel. And the rest of you have agreed to help out on the ship in exchange for some passage. And of course, Lunine, Mr. Lunine here has provided the remaining fees necessary for your travel expenditures all the way to Madinat in Hesshin, which is very exciting. I've never been there before.
Neither have we.
Well, I'm very much looking forward to getting to know all of you, of course. And
I'm sure, but you have a lot to catch up on with Andra first. It's a long trip. You can get to us later.
oh,
I'm
indeed,
sure there'll be
I
plenty
am.
of time for all of us to chat at length.
Yes, I'm afraid I'm going to have to indeed monopolize my sister for a few moments. Meanwhile, Captain Trufel, and you see this sort of short human man who, kind of blonde, kind of straight-laced looking individual, turns from where he was like calling out a few orders and says, "Yes, Mr. Grandspark. Would you be so kind as to have someone show the dead ringers here to their berth? I'm going to monopolize my sister for a little bit on the aft deck." "Very good, sir." And he calls over one of the crew members and has them escort the rest of you down to where you will be lodging for your trip.
Hey, someone save me a bottom bunk.
I give a wave as we
Wanna make
walk
it less
away. An
blurry.
acknowledgement.
Rudibert then turns to you. "Well, Andra, let us have a little discussion on the deck away from prying ear, shall we?"
Sounds delightful. How have you been?
"Oh, very busy, of course. This last trip has been very interesting, and he's talking as he's walking you up to the back of the ship here.
It seems like you're doing quite well for yourself.
Well, yes, it was a bit of a hassle. Father, of course, sent me here to, attempt to establish some sort of trade, with a bunch of, quite frankly, pirates and ne'er-do-wells who inhabit these islands. But, Father, he's always trying to get any sort of foothold he can in any sort of business deal.
Of course.
So, contacts are contacts after all. Anyway, it took some doing, and we eventually came across Captain Fierceheart, and Fierceheart, of course, very powerful woman, and, well, we were successful in getting an acceptable deal, and in getting introductions into merchants and perhaps the very pearl trade that is occurring over in Madinat, as well as solid marble mercantile endeavors, which of course Faza will love to trade for the ironwood.
Of course.
Yes. And now that we're up on
Isn't
this...
that very heavy to move, though?
Well, the ironwood, yes. And the marble, yes. It's all... That's why we have such ships as this. And he pats the aft rail of the ship.
It's a very lovely ship that you are commanding here.
Yes, Father has entrusted me with it, which is, a bit of a feather in my cap, of course. I've been all from Tremet down. I've been to Winton and all the way down the coast of... Well, anyway, what the hell are you doing here?
Gaining some valuable life experiences.
Sure, you can dissemble all you want, but I know when you're lying, Andra.
I mean, that is true. This is not where I thought we were heading, this particular island, which is a little bit more remote than...
But why aren't you at school?
Because we thought it would be important for me to see some more of the world and have some more grounding in the real world.
Uh-huh. Is that the official story you want to go with, so that if Father ever gets to check in with Imelad, he can compare notes?
I mean, he can try. Imelad is notoriously bad at responding. As I'm sure you know, as you've not heard from me in these past few months.
Well, I may not have heard from you, but Father has definitely heard from Imelad.
There you go.
I don't know what this timeline in, but in the years you've been studying, he has gotten regular progress reports.
And I have made such progress that I'm now broadening my horizons.
Uh-huh.
It's been very educational out here.
Well, I don't deny that that is most likely true. But how is this going to help as a family exactly?
Well, I mean, I did not know I would encounter you here. Certainly, it's expanding my knowledge of the world and being able to bring back discussions of where else in the world we might do business. And as it so happens, you're here, so that will be unnecessary in this particular case. But there's a lot more. There's a lot more lumber in the world than just ironwood, and I'm seeing some other things.
Mm-hmm.
Whether or not that is ultimately useful, it is nonetheless. I'm becoming a more well-rounded person.
Well, more well-rounded is good, but perhaps you can tell me some business contacts that you have made in all these various places you have been to?
I mean, I haven't been to that many places. This is, only our second stop or so since I left the tower. So, and as I said, it's been a bit more remote than I was hoping when I embarked upon this voyage.
Well, what are the other two?
Why do we think I remember any of this? We were briefly in a very unique city that was mostly underground is the wrong word for it because it was open air, but it was like within a cleft in an island. It was very interesting.
And what was the name of it?
I don't remember. I am looking it up.
Cliffside?
Cliffside. Cliffside is the name of the town.
I've heard of this, and you have made business contacts there. Who?
Not really very many. I'm sorry to say. They have their own farming area on top of the mountain. But I did meet with some of the I hesitate to say clergy, the cult leaders that sort of deal with their sun access and how they bring sun into their growing areas. which is not necessarily a business contact, but is entirely relevant to what I was sent to study in terms of ways to improve our crops and yield.
So you think that this magic religious sun person could encourage growth? I'm sure that Theodoric would find that sort of information useful.
I mean, I'm not prepared to go do that next week, but it is certainly an avenue that I have now that I'm exploring.
Mm-hmm. So you've been to Cliffside and Shorebank.
Yeah, and when I departed from Laurenton, from the tower, to embark upon this journey, so I saw a little bit of Laurenton on my way out. Right, it was Laurenton, wasn't it? No, it was not. It was not. It was Sewell.
Mandarian.
It was Mandarian. All right, yes, I know where I am.
Mandarian.
Real great.
Well,
really great at this geography thing.
I have been working on getting some inroads in Mandarian, so if you've indeed found some, then that would be useful.
I mean, that was where I departed from the tower, so I wasn't there for very long, just enough to kind of, join this group of people and embark upon our journey. Like I said, it's a very recent development that I'm out here, and I do feel like I'm learning a lot, but I'm sure I still have very much to learn.
So, you left your tower, where you were learning how to do magic, in a bustling city, being freshly built with all kinds of opportunities for expansion and growth and materials, and you didn't make any contacts that Father could exploit before deciding to travel to other places and make tenuous grasps at meeting people.
I mean, I left the tower with the intention of going other places. I assume that you all were familiar with Mandarian already. It's not that exotic.
Well, it is
not so much that I'm out there meeting people as I am learning about growth and different forms of magics.
Aha.
I'm going to cast some dancing lights and wave them around.
He looks at it and says, "Yes, very pretty. Look, I don't know why you are being a bit you right now, but
I am always me."
Yes, well, I have tried to grow in the past few years into my position as representative of the company, so I'm going to choose to believe you are telling me some facet of truth in this moment. But I would hope you would have grown enough, since you are, well, you should be old enough to realize that you don't have to be defensive about everything if you just tell the truth about what's going on. But if you come up with anything else, there will be plenty of time over the weeks to have a chat about what's really going on with you.
Of course.
Yes.
Clearly not going anywhere for some time upon this. I mean, the boat will be, but clearly I will be right here and at your disposal.
I would hope so, sister.
Not to interrupt, but at some point, Selenar would have gone down, just dropped his stuff off, and then come back up onto the deck and be wandering around, so...
Yeah.
I don't know how much of this I would have heard, or would want to interject, but...
You'd probably hear none, because Rudibert brought them to the back of the ship to kind of like be out of the way of people and away from
secret
people.
conference.
Yeah.
Alright, cool. Carry on.
Well, until that point, Mother is doing well. She is, being... Well, at least I think she
Mother.
is. Oh, sorry, not Mother.
Because has father remarried and not told me?
Well, yes, sort of.
Oh, you have to tell me everything about this. He's been keeping it from me. I haven't heard any of it.
Well, you can be touchy about it. He met this woman a few years ago. They have not officially married, but they spend a lot of time together. Father is very happy. She's very dutiful and very intelligent. So she has added quite a few expedited levels into the bureaucracy of the business, which has been nice, quite frankly. Dutaria hates her.
Of course she does.
But Dutaria hates everybody, so that's what you get. Siegfried can't be bothered. Father is conducting business. He is very enraptured of his potential new wife.
Is she wearing mother's jewels?
No. At least not when I was last home. However, she has taken over the cooking of the manor, so and much of the daily tasks.
Can't imagine that Dutaria would object to that. She was never a good cook.
No, that's why she always had to have an expense account for. Well, anyway. No. Our dear father is indeed quite, I suppose the best way to describe it is enamored.
I see.
But, father, he analyzes everything before he ever makes a decision, so...
Of course, I would expect nothing less.
Well, it's just how he is, I suppose. But good Lord Grandspark is, energetic in his pursuits. Anyway, Siegfried is progressing well. He's dating one of the woodsmen now.
Oh?
Yes. Actually, Theodoric introduced them, which was a bit of a gamble on Theodoric's part, but introducing one of the lower woodsmen to the heir of the company and
Certainly.
a romantic setting. Father doesn't know about it yet, of course, but...
I see.
Mm-hmm.
But he's happy?
He is. At least last time I spoke with him, which was some months back.
Of course.
Dutaria is only happy when she is doing the books. Otherwise, or investing in something or whatever. She's scared off about half a dozen suitors in the past year, so...
That sounds like Dutaria.
Yes. Anyway, I suppose I should let you get to your books, but... Or get to your bunk, I suppose. But, we will have more time to catch up.
I'm certain of it. I look forward to it.
Yes.
I'm sure this is such a nice surprise after the arduous journey we had up to this point to encounter a familiar face.
It is always good to see family. Goodbye, Andy. I'll see you in a while.
Good evening, brother.
And you toddle off to find your bunk. The rest of you, in this meantime, have been able to stow your baggage and can kind of like find your way around the ship. One of the crew members has been assigned to like show you down and is definitely milking the job. On the way down, they're like, Now, that over there, that's the privy, so that's where you go if you need to, do your business. That's how it works. Let's see. That's the galley, so that's where Cookie does his thing. Pretty good there. Good, decent
Insight
meals.
check.
Yeah, make an insight check.
I want to know if he is just curious of us or if he's shirking his duties.
Hmm?
Nope, it's an 8.
Hard to tell. He's kind of like talking away from you, so he's not like turning around very much. Now, this is sort of the shared cabin that you'll be all in with a few other members of the crew. We've cleared up quite a bit of space now since being able to offload all that ironwood. So it's much more roomy now. We've taken on some additional supplies down in the hold, but some people have been able to expand out. So that's fun and exciting. He opens the door and here you go. 6 hammocks. These 6 over here, they're totally open. We set them up for you knowing that you were coming. Yeah. There's a little... you can see there's little, like, a couple of foot lockers near each, like, double-stacked hammock. Feel free to stow your gear, and then I guess, whatever else you need, I can see if I can help you out.
Well,
Thank you.
Thank you. I think we'll be good now. You should probably get back to work.
Well, the captain did say I should make sure that you were all taken care of, so if you need guidance back up to the ship, or if you need any, like, coursework or anything, I don't know how much ship experience you all have.
I'd love to be introduced to the bosun if he or she is available.
Very well. Yeah, I can do that. Any other requests I can do for any of you?
Nope.
Oh. Okay. I'll be outside when you're ready to go see the bosun. And he leaves you alone for a few minutes to, like, stow and pack your stuff. Selenar, you head up with him, and he brings you up to the bosun, who is shouting a few orders at some of the crew. It seems to be that he's in the middle of having them repair some stuff. It's this, like, old, grizzled, sort of, like, half bent over man. Looks like someone who was, like, very muscular and strong in their younger years, but has, like, aged up a little bit. And he turns around and he's like, Clifford, I think you should be getting back to work, shouldn't you? Haven't you shirked your duties long enough? Yes, sir. One of our new guests on board asked to be into you, or introduced to you. May I present Mr. Selenar? He's an elf. And Mr. Selenar, this is our bosun, Friedrich Hanston.
Pleasure to meet you.
Likewise. So, you are a skinny little thing of an elf, but I suppose that cannot be helped.
Selenar laughs a little bit. I understand it's a busy time casting offshore, but I also understand that part of our agreement is to be of help. I've spent most of my life on the water, although mostly freshwater, not as rough as the seas that we've experienced on our way out here. But any help I can give, just ask away.
You know how to splice lines?
Yes. I assume.
Yeah, you probably would.
Yeah, I would assume Selenar, like, rope work is something that you would... Yes, confidently. I do.
You also did rope work on the last boat trip.
Very good. Then you can help out Chantley over there. He could use some help splicing some new lines together.
Happy to.
Thank you. Then he turns back around and starts shouting a few more orders. And you go help Chantley. Chantley is like... You know how there's always like that guy in the office or that guy on the crew? Who's like, sweet person, but like utterly devoid of really like getting it. That seems to be Chantley's bag. As you go over and you see he's kind of like braiding 3 pieces of rope together, but not in a way where they would like make a single line, just kind of braiding them together so it's like 3 cattails, so it's like a kind of looks more like an octopus hot dog at the moment than anything really useful. Oh jeez, I don't think I'm doing this right. Oh jeez. Oh no. I'm gonna have to. How do I undo this? Huh? Oh. Hello.
Hello. Frederick asked me to come help you.
Oh
How
well.
can I help you?
If Friedrich sent you over, do you know how to undo this?
It looks a bit of a mess, but I think we can manage.
Oh, that would be very appreciated. Chansley.
Selenar, pleasure to meet you.
Well, it's a pleasure to meet you, Selenar the elf. I have a little elf blood on my grandfather's side, you know. And
Really?
Yeah, and you look, and he's got like very slightly pointed ears and kind of like a narrower chin, but definitely not like pure-blooded or half-blooded even. Like, definitely thinned a bit,
He's 16th elf.
if that.
Yeah.
Like,
Let's see what
probably
we can
would
do with
not.
this pile of ropes here.
Yeah. So you get on it and you start helping him out. What's everybody else up to on the ship?
I've made my way down to the bunk room at this point.
Mm-hmm.
And,
After we put our stuff down, I imagine Looney would just wander his way back up to the top of the ship.
Okay. Did anyone want to do anything specific?
It's
No,
hard to say
good.
sure. I think Corvus is being a tiny bit reserved. He's gonna follow Selenar back up, and when he's done talking, he's gonna offer to, if Selenar needs a hand with the ropes, because I think Corvus also did that last time.
Sure. All right, so you all kind of like go about your things, and what you see is a ship in the midst of getting ready to make way. The captain, Captain Heartfell Truefall, is barking out orders. He doesn't seem to be like a very like empathetic leader. He's not like a captain who is like charismatic in that way, but he seems very efficient and well respected. Based on the orders he gives short, concise orders, and calls out people for lollygagging, as he likes to say. You hear him shout it multiple times. He's like, "No lollygagging! Get it up! Enough with the lollygagging!" It's like his favorite word. But within like 30 minutes of you coming on board, the sails are unfurled, and wind takes them, and you begin moving. I've got it asking who's gagging. Find out later.
Someone named
Who's Lolly?
Lolly is
Yeah.
obviously gagging. Y'all get this ship underway. Indeed. And you see, as you kind of get out of the bay, the ship kind of slows as it approaches that larger ship. The black one that you know now is captained by Fierceheart. And you come up, and you've learned by now that the ship is dubbed the Rugged Shadow. And you see that as you kind of slow down, a figure holds onto a line aboard the upper jib, one of the high horizontal masts of the Rugged Shadow, and leaps off of it, kind of arcing down, up, and over to the unbroken bow, and lands aboard. And he is in a ratty vest and a bandana, big, muscly human with a bunch of scars. Who knows where they came from? Very, very dark-skinned individual. Hair seems to be long, kind of unkempt dreadlocks from beneath the bandana, behind his back, and a big bushy mustache. Wearing a short sword and a hand axe at his opposing hips, and a little duffel bag across, slung over his shoulders. And he lands with a kind of almost like the superhero pose, kind of one knee down, on the boards, and steps up. And as he steps up, you can see that his right hand, three of his his middle three fingers here are covered in a glove, and it looks like the three fingers are made of metal, or in metal sleeves or something. And he stands and he looks over, and the captain comes down and stands before him, kind of straight-laced, and says, "You must be Master Stormswell." "That's right. Alabaster Stormswell at your service, sir. I'm here to be your, a representative on board for the good Captain Fierceheart until we make berth with the Bloody Master. She'll be rendezvousing with us in 2 days." "Very good. You are expected. We have made a bunk for you. I will show you to your quarters." "Well, that's right. Nice of you, Captain. Thank you." And the captain goes down with this individual.
Oh no!
What?
Sorry, you just said the captain goes down. I'm sorry.
Yeah, he shows him down to the bunk where Stormswell is going to be sleeping.
Is that he's showing him to the same room we are in?
Do you hang out in your cabin?
I think I'm still there. As I was the last one to arrive there, I'm still, stowing my things.
Cool. He does not, but he does go into a room across the hall from you. You see the captain and this individual. The captain opens the door and shows him in and just nods and then kind of leaves him there.
Fair.
Yeah.
Cool. At that point, I'm probably going to begin exploring the ship. I'm mostly looking for places to be out of the way, as I am small and not very helpful in the sailing business.
Yeah, indeed. A large number of the crew are also halflings, which does not surprise you.
Sure. I suppose the ship is probably on the scale for me, actually, but...
Yeah, well, there's also a fair number of humans, mostly halflings, some humans, and a couple people who look like they have other ancestry, but mostly kind of, very much the kind of people from, that make up most of Tremets, like most common sort
Sure.
of people. No Vastvin, no Elementars, no anything like that. And certainly no Feline.
But
Yeah.
I'm just kind of generally looking for places where I might be out of notice or out of the way, and also just kind of generally looking at people as I meet looking at people as I encounter them, for anyone unusual or noteworthy, I guess. Like she's pretty much just exploring.
Yeah. All of you who choose to explore the ship, it's a pretty standard ship. It's a large merchant vessel, so the hold takes up most of the ship, and it's kind of like built wider, and like more like flat bottom than like the sailing ships you've been on, because it's designed for cargo.
And is the hold mostly empty at this juncture?
Yeah, like there's crates of like supplies and that sort of thing, and like barrels of
Sure.
water and that kind of stuff. But there's no like merchandise aboard at the moment. There are a few. If you look into the hold, there are a few like chests and crates and barrels that are in like a jail cell kind of looking thing. Like they're in like a locked portion.
Uh-huh.
And then there's a few other like empty cages on the far side from that, which maybe that's some kind of brig or something, just in case.
I was gonna say, do they look like they're like livestock cages, or do they look like jail cells?
They look more like jail cells.
Cool.
Yeah.
I will not linger about there. I'm just kind of take note.
Yeah,
my bearing.
like the galley on board is small, and there's a halfling in there, cooking up a storm. He just kind of nods to you as you enter and doesn't really say much. But if you approach the kitchen, he's like, no one comes into the kitchen.
Okay.
I have the same rules.
Looking for rats again.
Just getting my bearings on the boat.
No problem. You are new.
So sorry to bother you.
It's okay. And that's the interaction you have with Cookie, I guess. But yeah. So, you all get underway. You have yourselves on board, the crew, and a representative from the Ragged Shadow. One Alabaster Stormswell is also on board.
And notably,
the
none of the trade goods that Rudibert has bargained for.
You don't know if he bargained for goods.
Oh, okay. Sure.
I mean, you saw him unloading a bunch of lumber. Like, that's what they were doing most of the last few days.
Right. But like, he hasn't taken on any new cargo or anything like that, as far as we know.
Yeah, as far as you know. You can always ask him about it. He'd probably tell you.
Yeah. I might the next time I can't get out of conversation with him.
So, we're going to kind of like move this along, and if anybody wants to like spend some time doing something specific or whatever, just go ahead and speak up. The next few days are fairly uneventful. On the second day, the captain is directed to a certain cove where, after about 2 hours, another ship approaches. The striking thing about this ship is it has a very tall, singular red mast. The mast is... The rest of the ship is like a normal, like, wood-covered ship. It's not like black or anything. But the mast is like this deep crimson, kind of sanguine red color. And Stormswell kind of says, "There it is, Captain. A bloody mast. Pretty soon, We'll have the captain over, everything will be right as rain, and the Bloody Master will escort us for the first part of our voyage. And indeed, before too long, a very striking individual comes on board. Sort of like wild hair, human, female, like kind of like open shirt, like revealing a lot of cleavage, long kind of gray cloak that's like red on the edges, short red pants, and kind of like deep red boots. She just kind of like oozes chaos and like disorder and dishevelment. But she stands up and says, "Ah, you must be Captain Truefall. A pleasure. Captain Carmen Sanguine at your service, of course. We'll be guiding you for the first part of your voyage anyway, through the peripherals. Don't worry. As long as you fly that flag and you're with me, no one will bother you, eh?" "Thank you, Captain. That is much appreciated and in line with our agreed upon contract." "Of course, we always stick to our letter, as the good Commodore likes to say, huh?" "That's good to know. If there is anything we can do for one another, by all means, don't be afraid to shout." "Don't you worry about it." And she just kind of like smiles. She's got this gruff, gravelly voice. She's just like a woman. You see, she like has someone with her, like some person who is like rowing the like little dinghy over, and she goes down to descend back to the dinghy, and he's like climbing up, and she's like, "Out of the way, fool!" and like literally kicks him in the face, and he goes, "Ah!" into the water. And she turns around and smiles, and she says, "You can't find good help these days, you know what I mean?" And she just kind of descends back down into her little ship, while the other guy is like climbed back into the dinghy, and she gets rowed back to the Bloody Mast. And indeed, anyone who looks up notices that not only is the flag of the flag with the oak tree and the 5 acorns being flown, but there's another flag under it, one that is black with a kind of humanoid skull that is dyed. It's not white; it's like a gray or like maybe a faded blue, but it is superimposed over a like blood red heart. And so that's flapping below, and you see that the Bloody Mast has their own sort of flag up above, which is a very basic like ship image with a red central mast, and then under it is the same flag.
Just to make sure I got my ship names correct, we are currently on the Unbroken Bow.
Correct.
Yes. We just met up with the Bloody Mast.
The Bloody Mast was the black ship that was moored.
No,
different ship. The one moored back there, was that the Alabaster? I had an extra
That's
name.
the Rugged Shadow.
Rugged Shadow. Where did Alabaster come from? Did I just make that name
That's
up?
the guy's name.
Yeah, Alabaster Storm Swell.
Ah, of course.
Yeah, and Alabaster stays on the ship. So you've got Alabaster Stormwell on. Yes, he's staying on the Broken Bow.
Did the Rugged Shadow? I can't read my own handwriting. Did it have the same flag as well?
Yes, it was flying only that flag with the skull and the heart.
All right.
Yeah. So, moving right along. The first bit of the trip is interesting and fairly uneventful for you, but indeed a couple of ships look like they're coming to give way, and the Bloody Mass both times breaks off and chases the ship down, and you hear cannon or like big booms, you don't know what it is. We would know it to be cannon fire, but cannon are very rare at this point of Nuuli's existence, because they take a lot to make, and there's not a lot of people who have explosive powder options. So you probably hear 2 or 3 thunderous booms, and you definitely see at least one of them developing smoke at one point, and the Bloody Mass returns not too long later, on both occasions. About a week and a half goes by, and you meet up with a third ship. This one is sort of a normal looking ship. It's got the same flag kind of under its own flag. So it's got the skull heart flag on it, but above that is it looks like a goth sunrise, like a black horizon with a gray sun over it, and 2 crescent moons in the corner. And indeed, Sanguine kind of wishes the captain well and goes back to the Bloody Mast and sails off, while the captain from this new ship, the Dawn's Nightmare, comes over, and they are very different from Sanguine. They are obviously elven descended. They have they kind of have Renata style ears and very fine features, and they are very intensely there's this intense brooding energy that sort of comes off of them. They are very short in their answers, and quiet for the most part, with just making the occasional grunt or motion of the head to kind of acknowledge statements or whatever. Speaks very rarely. They just sort of, they feel like they're constantly on the razor's edge of an explosive potential. People who just, you can tell that they're that far away from some crazy explosion. That's what this individual feels like at all times. And they're with you for about another week or so. Over the course of this time, you see that one of the ship, that a ship comes into view and is heading your way, and the Dawn's Nightmare flies their flags, and the ship immediately goes wide and turns away and just fucks off, basically. Does not even approach the Unbroken Bow or the Dawn's Nightmare.
Handy.
Yeah. Anyway, after about a week or so, the Dawn's Nightmare sits with you in a cove for about half a day, and another ship comes up. This one is painted with bright blue colors, and it's got a flag. Unlike the other two, which were black flags, this one is blue, and has a white wave upon it with a white sword kind of above the wave, or angled, it's chopping towards the wave in some kind of way. And then it has the True Heart's flag, or Fierce Heart's flag rather, under it. And a green-skinned woman comes aboard with big kind of seahorse-style ears. She is an Aquanel. So she's a elemental water descended person. And she's very charming and very smiley. And as she talks to the captain, it's all like, "Oh, whatever you need, we're here to help you. We're going to get you where you need to go." But the more insightful of you can pick up that there is like a bubbling malice and rage kind of underneath this like facade that she's put up. She's very nice and very pleasant to everyone she meets, but you notice like one of her attendants says something. "Oh, well, we have to wait an hour or so, Captain, because the tide's not with us. We were a little late in getting here." And she just like explodes on the guy and says, "What do you mean? If you hadn't been lollygagging, we would have been here on time." And it's like this, and she straight up like decks him, and he like goes ass over tea kettle and like rolls into the thing. "Next time, don't talk back." And then she turns around, all smiles again. "Sorry about that. Discipline must be maintained after all." And yeah, and you are escorted for the last like week and a half or so. You have left the peripherals. She kind of picked you up at the edge of the southern edge of the peripherals. So because they knew where they were going, there weren't any like rules that need to be made, and you were being escorted.
No shark and crab.
No shark and crab. And you are sailing through some wild times, or uneventful times, but the ocean is wide, but only for a few days. Eventually, you start to see some bits of land. And what you see are some tall mountains on like a smaller, like it's an island, but it's a very large island. And you're kind of sailing past it from a distance, and you see sparkling on the very shore between the islands. And indeed, you get pretty close. But you don't head around like south. You stay on the north side of this island. Kind of looks like you're weaving between like this big one to the south and like a couple of smaller ones up north. You are told that well, everyone go ahead and make a perception check as you pass this island. Nice. Okay, so Lunine, you can see farther or better in this instance than the others, and what you pick out is that it seems to be that the beach or the beaches between these like large mountains, and you're like spending a day traveling past this island, they seem to sparkle and glitter like gemstones.
Is there any particular reason why that island seems to be sparkling?
Indeed. The captain...
I asked the captain, someone that's nearby.
Yeah, the captain... Captain Truefall looks out and over to you and says, "Well, we are told that these are the gemmed wastes, so apparently there's all sorts of gemstones upon the shores of that island, but it is a wasteland and very dangerous to attempt to get on, apparently."
Interesting.
Yes, and not all of the gemstones are valuable, of course. Very few are. But you figure if it was worth it, people would already purloin it. Apparently some people have tried and they have not come back. I think it better to avoid the island.
Though I am curious, I defer to your judgment.
Curiosity is fine, but practicality is what keeps one alive in these stations.
Agreed.
And you spend about a day and a half kind of sailing past this island, and you can see all glittering between these mountains. You kind of like duck between a two like smaller islands, and then you kind of like begin sailing around another large island and kind of like hugging the coastline a bit. And looking out on this one without any need of perception check, you can see like big sandy beaches for as far as you can see, and then just in the middle of the landscape as you look in this island, it looks like it just like goes down into like a pit. Like a steep walled pit. Asking, you learn that this is called the Eternal Sink. And supposedly, that island is just one big ass sinkhole with some beach that managed to not be pulled in yet. If the beach goes down, then probably the ocean will probably fall down into the sinkhole. It's weird, but it is intimidating in a way.
Water's not falling in it though.
Nope. Like the beach goes up, and then like there's like a little like rock land kind of above it, and then like, phoop.
Has anyone ever explored that? Corvus Muses?
The captain doesn't know of anyone about it. This is just one of the landmarks that he's been told to look out for.
I mean, it is distinctive.
Mm-hmm. The next few days, you begin to travel. The water is now like a kind of like darker blue, still like fairly bright, but less green than it was in the peripherals, and more of a cool blue instead of like a warm aqua kind of color. And you come on down, sailing to the south, sailing to the west, and eventually you come around the edge of a landmass, and you have entered the Bay of Pearls. This is where the wave cutter, which is our
latest escort.
Yes, whose name, by the way, was Mizu Crosshatch. Captain Mizu Crosshatch of the Wave Cutter has brought you this far, and she swings over or comes over with her escorts and lets the captain know, like, follow the coastline for 2 days and you'll end up in Madinat. It's been a pleasure. And then she has a private word with Alabaster Stormswell and says goodbye to Rudibert and Captain Truefall, or Heartfall, and Truefall. His first name's Heartfell, so it's like Heartfell Truefall. It's one of those names that gets weird to say.
Does Stormswell stay on our boat?
He does.
Okay.
And so the wave cutter departs, and the next 2 days are supposedly your last few. And about midday on the second day, with favorable winds, you begin to see a city shimmering on the horizon. What you see is a fairly large place. You see a large palace that seems to be in construction mode, much like in Mandarian, where like buildings are being built. This seems to be a large circular tower with like a dome on top that looks kind of like an upturned onion. Like the top half of an onion just kind of sticking on the top. You see smaller towers and walls kind of running along the city. you see a massive wide dock that kind of like crosses where like the point of the bay is. Instead of the dock kind of curving around, it seems like they've built out into the bay with these docks. So there's like a large, for lack of a better term, floating platform that seems to be part of the docks. Seems to be made of like some wood, but also like terracotta maybe, or some kind of like clay to kind of like keep it all together. But it is interesting. And there are all kinds of people. There are multiple ships. There are lots of little tiny like dinghies with sails as you sail past. And occasionally you see a person like swim up and dump like a bag of like oysters or clams or something into a little catch that another person on the boat has. And you see that each one of these individuals who's diving down has some kind of like line or rope that leads back to their own boat. And they're just kind of diving down and coming back up and unloading clams. And as you get closer, you can start to see the city coming alive. You can start to smell the city. You smell the ocean, but then you also get whiffs of spices and dust. And you can see like the mountains in the distance off to the south and kind of further east inland. And then to the kind of northwest that you're kind of traveling along, it's just flat, like sand, desert. It's very sandy and rocky. You come at last and kind of begin to dock into Madinat itself. And you can see there's a large area with colorful tents and all kinds of like chanting, and you can hear music and shouting and the sounds of civilization and commerce. You can see like children running around on the docks, kind of like getting into mischief and being chased by adults or other kids. You see all sorts of people. You see humans, definitely. You see a lot of feline here. A lot of variety of feline in different sorts of fur colors. You see Vastvin that kind of have like a lot of like red streaks on their faces and their bodies. You see a few different kind of like elementarxes around as well. A lot seem to be like fire people, kind of like not actually like on fire, but like red skinned and like maybe like smoke from their shoulders, or like bright fire glowing like orbs for eyes of like fire or molten gold or stuff like that. But yeah, it seems like quite a diverse group of people that you are seeing here. And you dock in, and Rudibert comes up to you all and says, "Well, everyone, welcome to Madinat. We've made it without too much hassle."
That was way easier than our journey to Shorebank.
Yes, a few.
When you don't have to be the muscle.
Yes, a few storms. Your help was, of course, much appreciated. As we get our final docking sorted out here, sister.
Yes, brother?
Why don't we have a little bit of tea before you depart?
That sounds delightful. Before we step away, hey Renata, is this where you're from? Are you familiar with this city?
Yes. Yeah, I know this city.
Oh, good. I'm glad to hear that we'll have some sense of where we're going. Are there real hotels or real inns here?
Hotels.
Inns. Proper inns and taverns here?
There are.
Just Motel 8.
Oh, good. Looking forward to civilization again.
I bet that's not a.
Yeah, exactly.
So, Andra, your brother takes you off into his office, which is also his cabin.
Of course.
Sits you down. Well, sister, it has been interesting to have you aboard these past few weeks. I've noticed you've kept your distance.
Well, you were busy. I didn't wish to intrude upon your important business.
Andri, there is always time for family. This is something you should know by now.
Of course. We greatly appreciate your hospitality on this boat. It's been a very smooth journey. The first half of our trip was definitely not. There were a lot of storms, and Captain, we got lost a couple times and ended up on some weird islands, and there were some horrifying sea creatures.
Yes, our travel to Shorebank had a very similar sort of... Well, it was very similar to get there. But traveling with fierce hearts captains, they know their way around, they know how these peripherals work, so we were able to avoid much of the damaging winds and seas that we encountered on our trip into the peripherals.
Certainly a great boon.
Yes, overall a wise business investment. Now, as we have arrived here in Madinat, I will be spending quite some time making these business contacts in the company of Mr. Stormspell. Stormspell has proven to be, well, I don't want to say reliable because I'm not a fool. I know that we have made deals with pirates here. But he has held up his purported portion of the deal. And Captain Fierceheart seems to have been honoring the contract we made, so I will continue to operate under that assumption, but I am not naive.
Well, good. I am glad to hear that you feel you've gotten a good deal.
Yes, between the marble and the pearls that we should be able to get from this city, I think Father will be very pleased by the arrangements. And quite honestly, having pirates that are friendly to you can be useful when traveling in dangerous waters or in other ventures.
I'm sure that is true.
Yes. Not my favorite activity, but what can one do? It's all for the business, after all.
Of course.
And knowing Father, he will be pleased.
I'm certain that is true. He has always been very proud of your business sense.
Well, I'm more charming than he is, so...
Of course.
The clients like me more. He's a bit stuck in his old ways, but he means well. So, you.
Me?
I don't know what you're actually doing here. I don't think... You have not convinced me that you are doing anything to help foster the business.
Well, I mean, that is the broader picture. I have so much to learn.
So you keep saying.
I kind of, without letting him anywhere near it, show off my spell book and say, I've been learning all of these things, and some of the things you kind of have to learn not in the tower.
Mm-hmm. Sure. Well, inevitably, I will see Father again. What do you want me to tell him?
I mean, I wouldn't want to worry him over much. I am safe. I am well. But he probably doesn't need to know where in the world I am. I wouldn't want to worry him over much. And I'm not your. I might still be your little sister, but I'm not a baby anymore, and I'm capable of taking care of myself.
You may not be an infant anymore, but you still have some growing up to do, it seems.
Of course. And that is what I am doing out in the world.
Well, hopefully you travel with these people and you learn to not be so guarded with yourself. It would be nice to actually get to know you, sister, one of these days. But until you're ready, I can't do much about that. So, be careful in your travels and don't die.
I shall do my best.
Very well.
Good luck to you on this venture. I wish you all of the best.
Thank you. It will be interesting and hopefully profitable.
I'm sure I have every confidence in your abilities to make it both.
Well, that is appreciated as well. Now, let's see you and your friends off the ship, yeah?
Very good.
And you both emerge. Well, my friends, it has certainly been wonderful having you on board. Thank you for all your help, and be safe in your travels.
I'll thank the captain on our way off the ship.
Yeah, Captain Truffle nods to each of you, thanking you for any help or aid you gave to the sailing during the time. And you are bid adieu, and you walk down the gangplank onto the docks of Madinat. And you are suddenly in the swell of the crowd. You hear shouting merchants and smells of spices, and you see sparkling bits of jewelry hanging from things and colorful rooftop canopies, incredibly dyed fabrics. It is a wild area, and this is just the docks. You see crates piled up, and as you begin to travel through this dock area, we're going to take a break.
Woo!
So we will be back. We'll take a quick short rest here, and we will be back in about 5 minutes. Until that time, Taco Senmashu, I've got it. Thank you for being here. Thank you to any and all lurkers we have with us tonight. And we'll be back in 5 minutes, and we'll see what these crazy kooks want to do in Madinat. We'll be right back. Hello, everyone. We are back. Thanks for sticking with us as we took a little short break. We have just arrived in the docks of the city of Madinat. As you are all at the top of the gangway, getting ready to descend down into the bustling docks area with crates and barrels, and you can all these smells and colors and people. Does anybody want to do anything specific?
Yeah, I guess backing up a bit, moment we start to... How do you spell Madinat? M-E-M-A...
Madinat.
M-A-D-I-N...
Madinat.
Madinat. So we see Madinat on the horizon, so I'm backing up a couple hours in game time.
Sure.
But I imagine we're all on the deck, see the city glinting, and Renata happens to be there. Selenar says, "It was your home, wasn't it?"
That was my home, and I never thought I would be here again.
So you don't consider it still your home?
No. I wanted to move forward.
I can respect that. Tomorrow is always a new day. What should we be expecting in the city?
Well, we'll arrive into the dock portion of the city, and there will be a lot of hustle bustle, merchants selling stuff, tavern stores, and that sort of stuff. And I'm not sure, Jared, if you have Madinat in a certain description, but I'll just start.
This is your home. This is your
rich-
hometown.
The rich district, the more fancy bougie district, the more rougher neighborhoods.
Mhm.
I'll start with that and see if he wants to know anything more. I'll just kind of give a layout of.
So the main areas that you would definitely know about are the docks, the merchant quarter, which is all the bazaar, the shops, all that kind of stuff. There's the Spice Mile, which is a massive spice market, and where most of that kind of stuff is done. The rich area that you talked about is Marble Rising, and the slums are the Dust Barrows.
What does the island with the city look like? I'm thinking climate. Is it desert? Is it jungle?
Well, it's not an island. It's on this continent, but it does seem to be desert.
Did we see other towns or cities as we approached it, or is it kind of by itself?
You did not see other towns or cities.
So I'm picturing Agrabah from Aladdin.
That is
the ocean.
That is a good visualization. Yeah.
That's how I always kind of pictured it myself.
Is there a big ass palace in the distance that Jasmine lives in?
He did. He said there was an onion on it.
There is one being constructed. Yes.
Cool. I'm sure many adventures await us there. I hope it is a positive reunion for you.
Is it tropical here still? Is it very warm?
It's very warm.
It's hot, and the sand gets everywhere, and it's rough on the skin.
Sure.
Selenar has stowed his usual long green robe and his just very simple brown garment underneath. Because it's hot.
Yeah, it is.
Andra probably has her lightest cloak, but with the hood up trying to protect her skin.
Yeah. You all disembark the Unbroken Bow, and you are in it. You get to the docks, and there are workers there in like no shirts or like just like halter top kind of style stuff with like very loose kind of linen pants. Everyone is wearing like very like flowy kind of clothes or as little clothes as possible, depending on how much skin they show versus their like skin tone. Like people with like darker skin are wearing a lot less clothing than people with lighter skin, and it is, and some people don't care. Some people are just like sunburned to all hell, and it is like wild.
Andra will turn to Renan and say, I think we might need to find some place to buy like some lighter cloaky type things. Because Andra is very pale and is somewhat concerned about the
Corvus
burning.
says, I'm down to go shopping. Do you have any recommendations on how to dress like a local here? Renata?
Yeah, everyone just head over to the merchant quarters. Lots of stores there. Little markets, flea markets too. I'm sure you can find something within your budget. And I'll turn to Lunine, unless Your Majesty, you like something a little more to your taste. That would be in Marble Rising. But I don't know that area too well.
Lunine's already just wearing a closed vest and shorts because it's been hot. It's just really bright here. How do you deal with this?
You're just born into it.
Yes, I'm starting to miss the night sky.
I don't know. There's a certain beauty. Now that I'm back here, there's a certain beauty of this harsh sun climate that I miss a little bit.
Well, you can keep it. I'll keep my permanent moonlight.
Deal. Polar
So where are we
opposites,
going
huh?
again?
Oh, yeah. So Andra wants to go shopping, so we can make a quick stop over at the merchant's quarters.
Yeah, Andra's probably wearing a very heavy cloak at this point, and so she's prestidigitating like the back of her neck cold.
And I know Andra has also asked about sleeping arrangements, so I know of a few places.
Sounds great.
Lead the way.
Yeah, sure. So I'll lead the way. And while I lead the way, I'll be vigilant about kind of scanning the area constantly to see if there's anyone that I might recognize.
Make a perception check. Cool.
Got here 12.
Very cool. All right. Yeah, you don't notice anybody particularly that you recognize in your walk from the docks to the merchant quarter. But you get to the merchant quarter and like you are hit by an open air bazaar like pretty quickly. There's a lot of traffic, like people carrying crates and all sorts of things, and men and women and people of indeterminate gender just like shopping around. A lot of Feline kind of hawking wares or buying like fine bits of like dangly jewelry or long colorful bolts of cloth or even full garments. Got go ahead, whoever wants to, and make an investigation check for whatever you may or may not want to find here in the marketplace.
Andra is definitely looking for something in the body enveloping garment family.
Okay.
Something with like big long sleeves that will kind of not like completely cover her hands, but largely cover her hands, with a hood. Something that is going to protect her very, very pale skin from
Very cool.
from this environment.
Yeah. Corvus, what are you looking for?
So Corvus, he's had costumes to fit in a variety of scenarios and places, but he's never been to this part of the world, so he wants to look the most forgettable possible.
Okay. Cool. Anybody else want to be looking for anything in the bazaar?
Yeah, I'll look for something.
Great. Roll
I
investigation.
am
What are you
looking for perhaps a type of long fabric of silk that I can wear over my head and then quickly use it as disguise if need be.
Okay. Cool.
Thor style, like Thor Ragnarok. Like he has that like, and then just like cover my face.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, great. Yeah, Andra,
No.
you find a stall run by a Feline woman, and she kind of like eyes you and says, "You, little one, do come in, yes. Salan, welcome, welcome. Ah, my name is Bag of Gemstones. How can I help you? You seem to be eyeing the clothing racks, the bolts of silk. Are you looking to purchase materials or finalized garments?"
Probably a finalized garment, although I'm not.
Well, then let's get you right and sized up here. And she just whisks you into her little like stall, for lack of a better term, and begins like taking measures. And says, and what sort of style are we looking for? Are we looking for something form-fitting to attract those who might be interested in? Are we looking for something voluminous and flowy? This is so heavy. This garment you have is so heavy.
Yes.
And your skin, lovely alabaster, but so pale, so dangerous under the sun. We must protect your skin. Oh, let's see.
Yes,
What do we have here? Oh, what can we find?
Flowy and covering.
Yes, exactly what... Trust Bag of Gemstones. Bag of Gemstones will always do you right by you. Let's see here. Here we are. And she produces a... very much like a flowy like robe, essentially, with big sleeves that you could either throw just over, or you could throw... or you could like wear it as like it cinches up. It's got like it's not see-through, but it's like linen-y, and breathable, and like a very light kind of fabric. Very durable, very good against the sun. I wear these sorts of things myself quite often. This is absolutely what you are looking for, I think. And the color, it brings out your eyes so nicely.
I'm just going to ask what color it was.
What color do you want it to be?
I don't know, like a gray or a...
This gray brings out the darkness of your eyes and makes them sparkle like onyx stones, polished obsidian. Really, this is made for you. We'll just take it in here and a little cinch here, and you just tie it around the waist with these such as here, and she kind of pulls and you go... And if you want it to be tight, or you can loosen it and let it flow around and be all amorphous, it's really a personal style choice. Very versatile garment.
I see that. How much is this going to cost me?
For you, for my new friend, for you, I will do 1 gold piece.
It's not unreasonable.
Indeed.
Very, very good. Will you shorten it? I'm afraid I'm going to trip on the
Of
length of this. Of
course,
course. Shorter than perhaps your average citizen here.
Yes, a hem is an easy fix, no problem.
Very, very good. When will it when will it be ready?
Well, just a few moments.
Excellent. In that case, by all means, I will take this fabulous gray robe and I will just look about while you finish it up.
Of course. And she gives a very high piercing whistle, and like a scrawny, like older feline man in like a little like blue vest and little like shorty, like little short shorts kind of comes out. He's kind of like tabby cat colors, whereas she was much more like brown and black, more like calico. And she says something to him, and he takes them and like takes a quick measurement, and then brings them back behind into the flap area. A few minutes later, maybe like 10 minutes later, he returns, and it is adjusted to your size.
Fantastic.
Yes. Thank you, Gotrek. Much appreciated. Gotrek is very skilled in his work.
He certainly is. I'm quite pleased. I will give her the agreed upon gold piece.
A pleasure, Salan.
What was her name again? Bag of gems?
Bag of gemstones.
Bag of gemstones.
Yep.
Very good.
Yes. Yes, Gotrek is very well. It's full. He goes by Gotrek, but his full name is Got Tricked by a Bottle of Swill.
Well, we've all done that, haven't we?
Yes. But you know, that's what it is. Anyway. Do come back whenever you are seeking finer garments. Bag of gemstones will be here.
I certainly shall. I'm not sure how long we'll be in town, but I will certainly return if I require more clothing.
Excellent. Meanwhile,
pleasure doing business with you.
She's very happy to send you off. Meanwhile, Corvus, another feline, eyes you. This one is like more of like a shorter, stouter, like gray furred kind of individual with like a few like white tufts on his ears. He says, you sir look like you are looking for something, eh? Come, what can I get you? What do you need, huh? You're muted.
Corvus is maskless currently and just wearing his basic attire. Corvus will say, "Well, when I landed here in the city, I'm realizing that I'm not really dressed for the weather."
So you wish to be like the local populace, eh? Very wise choice. Very wise choice. Do come in. Welcome to Bowl of Hot Soups. Come in. Yes.
The name of the shop is Bowl of Hot Soups, or?
Well, my name is Bowl of Hot Soups.
Oh, pleasure to meet you, Bowl of Hot Soups.
And it is good to meet you, my friend Tom. Welcome. Yes. Now let's get you sorted up. Yes. We need to get this all sorted out here. Yes. And he just starts like pulling clothes off of racks and like yes, my friend. This is what we need to have for you. Yes. Look. Oh, look. This you with your color. You would do well in greens, I think. Yes. Greens or maybe some peach, huh? Bright colors to let people know that you are here to be seen in the colors of our homeland, yes?
No, I mean, your colors are very beautiful, but I don't want to, not trying to appropriate anyone's culture here. Darker tones, the greens would be preferable if you've got something like that.
Of course. Yes, dyed with the darkest green bamboos we can find.
How dark can we get without it becoming a problem for the heat, you know?
our colors here are dyed to be bright as the sun to reflect the heat. So the brighter the color, the more the heat of the sun is reflected out. But also, the darker colors are woven in such a way where they trap the cool air beneath your skin. It is brilliant that we have come up with this sort of thing. So the dark colors will feel warmer on the outside but keep your body cooler, whereas the bright colors will push the heat away.
I like this. Let's try this cooling dark color.
Ah, very good, my friend. Let's see what we got. And he dresses you up in, it is like a light flowy shirt with a more with a tighter vest, but it's tighter, but it's light, but it fits your body very, very closely. It doesn't close up all the way like ones on Johanna do. It's more like open on the sides with just like a little bit of a toggle clasp across the front. Like there's like 3 inches of gap down the front, so to like show off the designs in the shirt. And then like kind of like essentially like parachute pants with like tight little clasp leggings that you can adjust around the ankles, and a cinchable waistband that you cinch from either side. And he also provides a cloak that he says, this cloak is made of similar material but warmer because it does get quite cold at night here. For there is nothing to really keep the heat in. So you must be very cold. You will be very cold at night without the cloak.
That's some smart thinking. Thank you.
Yes, of course. And it is a very like long, voluminous style with like just like a cinch around the waist, and it seems like the cinch is like one that you wrap a couple times around, and then like a big hood that's got like an embroidered kind of like helmet or tiara kind of thing, kind of around the end that like keeps it on your head so it doesn't blow away in the wind.
Oh, okay. I think I know what you're saying. Yeah, it's like a rope type
Yeah, it's kind of like that.
thing that kind of like a Saudi.
Like a halo.
Kind of like a Saudi wear. Now, if you are not interested in the hood, I do have a wide variety of head adornments available as well.
Oh, okay, let's see them, I guess.
Yeah, and he shows you what are a variety of turbans. Some are more like pouncy, and some are more like utilitarian and like smaller, and some are like tighter. There are a few hats that are like big, tall, kind of like African-styled hats. Like if you've ever seen like some hats in like Uganda or Nairobi, that kind of place. So yeah. So whatever kind of style you may or may not be interested, he seems to have a variety of these things. I think you should stay away from the taller hats, but this hat, and he brings out, but this turban, and he brings out a little turban that is smaller and form-fitting, but like not uncomfortable. Like it's tightly wrapped. This is a true thing of beauty on you, my good friend.
Real quick, so while he's showing me these things, I know I've just got to the city, but I had to walk here. I guess I should have rolled for this. Does any of this look like it's out of place? Like, is he trying to push like touristy looking traditional garb on me, or is it just like...
It looks like what people are wearing.
Great. I mean, I'm like comparing it to like walking downtown modern day Edinburgh wearing a kilt. That would not fly.
He's selling you a T-shirt that says, "I went to Hesshin and all I got was this lousy T-shirt."
Yeah.
I heart Madinat.
But okay, if it looks like stuff people wear, then I'm down for it.
Yeah.
I'll take his recommendation on the turban and the cloak and the other stuff.
The whole outfit. Wonderful. These are very resistant, so they will help you a lot. 2 gold for the set.
Corvus is gonna sort of awkwardly go through his coin purse. Oh, hang on. Sorry, I'm looking for. Here's 1 gold. Oh gosh, it looks like I'm coming up a little short. Would you take 8 silver?
I would take 8 silver plus another 2 silver, or perhaps 20 copper,
Is
hang
Lunine
on.
around?
if you want to be.
Yeah, it's tagging her around. I'll give him the gold.
Oh no, that's okay. Here it is. It was just at the bottom of the purse. And I hand the 2 gold over.
Ah, it is wonderful to have such good friends. I'm so happy to be visited by such wonderful new customers. And he packs up your gear and gives you a little parcel wrapped in some like very cheap like muslin or burlap or something. There you are, my good friend. Please come back to Bowl of Hot Soups anytime.
Thank you, Hot Soups. And I'm gonna exit without saying a word.
Meanwhile, Renata, on a 15, you find a very like tall, buff, like blonde, flowing man with, and he looks to you and says, "You, my friend, you are definitely someone who needs to update their wardrobe. Come in." Ah.
Well, I wouldn't say update my entire wardrobe. I just need an add-on. I'm looking for.
Accessories make the man.
You got it. An accessory. Something to cover my head.
Well, come in. I am Jason.
What is it?
I am Jason. Come on in. Let's get you set up. Yes? Yes.
I like to think that because I'm from here, I can kind of cut through the seller's bullshit and just kind of be a little more direct in my shopping experience. Where I try to, I'm still courteous and nice. I don't want to make a scene, of course, but I do know exactly what I'm looking for. I know what prices should be, so I won't be charged extra.
Yeah, you tell him exactly what you're looking for. And he looks at you and says, a man of distinct taste, and I like a customer who knows what he wants. Very well. And he produces exactly what you want, this like cloak-ish type thing, this sheet of disguise, if you will. Floppy hood, whole 9 yards. Very well. This will be a 1 gold. You
exactly what I'm looking for.
You can make an insight check with advantage.
Uh, 16.
Okay, great. With
I don't know why I didn't show up on the screen.
Yeah, I don't know. It's all good.
16.
With a 16, that's a few more silver than the last time you went shopping for anything like this. But he doesn't seem to be like trying to like cheat you either.
Okay. So I'm gonna try to haggle the price. So he said 1 gold. Then I will instead say, I'll kind of like inspect it and be like, I mean, it's good. I don't know if it's 1 gold good. It's probably more like 8 silver.
Make a persuasion check.
Uh, 21.
Well, my friend, 8 silver would be a fine price about 5 years ago, but times have changed, you know?
Are times rough?
Well, times have moved forward, you know. The world is growing, and exports and imports is all very, you know, the last few years have
Yes,
been
the king's tariffs. I've heard about this.
well.
Um,
Well, you know,
yes, it's been news all over the world. The king's tariffs have affected the economy.
Indeed, yes. The Raja, of course, the Raja and his pashas do the best they can. The Merchant Council, of course, advises and influences them. But you know, the Raja has been doing this hard work for 8 years, and it's just become a thing. Now, if it was
Actually, sorry,
5
Derek,
years ago, yeah.
Just in terms of my time frame, when was the last time I was here? How long ago?
I mean, you've been with these people for about 6-7 months now, and then you spent some time before that, so maybe a year.
Okay. All right.
Now, if we were 5 years ago, I would happily give you this for not but 8 silver. But I can tell you are someone who is from our beloved city here. If you were not, I would be asking you 15 silver for this fine garment.
Actually, because he mentioned, about time passing and things changing, in my initial walking through of this area, have things changed, or
I mean, things have.
are they still relatively the same?
They're relatively the same. Like, they're like maybe were some new sellers, or some people were gone, or like a few things may have changed, but it's not like a massive shift.
Okay.
Like maybe the old guy who used to sell like hot breads on the corner isn't there anymore, but like that kind of thing.
Gotcha. So basically, what's happening now is I try to haggle the price, but he didn't budge. He's still sticking with the 1 gold piece.
He seems to be. He's wavering though.
Wavering. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna see if I can call his. I'm gonna see if I can bluff him, and I'll say, I saw something similar in another store. Perhaps I'll go there. Should I roll like a deception check?
Either deception or intimidation.
Well, I'm not trying to intimidate him. I'll do deception.
You could always do
just
the
trying
old
to bluff
sleight of
him. I'm
hand
trying to
trick.
scare him into thinking he'll lose his
Yeah.
sale here. 13.
Well, my friend, you are of course free to purchase any from any vendor here in the market, in the bazaar. But if you can find such a fine garment as this for less than a gold already, I wish you the best of luck.
Amen. Renato will just say, now that you mentioned it, it would be hard to find something exactly like this. You'd have a hard bargain, but gold it is. Now,
It is a pleasure. Yeah, he hands you over the robe. It is wonderful to do business with you, good sir. Please come back to Jason at any time. Jason will be here.
Thank you. With that, I'll take my leave.
Yeah. Did anybody else want to buy anything at the market, or are you all good?
So, 2 things.
Yeah.
One, I actually would like to go for the nicer clothing one, but 2, can I use that monocle jewelers thing and walk around? Because is it the detect magic like the full 10-minute ritual worth?
Yeah, it gives you the full duration of the spell.
Cool. While we're walking around, can I use that?
Yeah. Make an investigation check.
He's never had stuff like that before. Investigation, I'm so good at that. I'll actually use a second wind on that just for shits.
Sure. Great. Glorious. Yeah, so looking around, nothing as you're kind of walking around seems like inevitable, like crazy magical. There's a few like small trinkety type things that seem to give off like a faint aura of magic, but nothing like that's radiating strong magics. Like you take a look at a guy who's got like musical instruments on sale, and one of his little, it's like a little lute, is kind of like radiating kind of this little aura.
Can I investigate that?
Yeah, I mean, like you can see that it's radiating a little aura. Specifically, it is kind of a pinky aura.
Ooh.
Okay, can I? Excuse me, sir. What's that loot? Right there?
Oh, and you can see that the aura is like that pink aura that you are told by the spell that it is enchantment.
Okay.
Yeah.
I assume. So what loot is that? That one's beautiful.
Ah, yes. This is a very valuable thing, my friend. What you see here is a lute of illusions, my good friend.
Okay, tell.
Yes, as you play this magical instrument, very powerful magics emit, and all around you, you see musical notes and spectral dancers. Whatever the music you are playing is becomes visible to those around you in an expressive form. It's very highly sought after.
Interesting. And how much would something like this cost?
Ah, well, something of this magnitude, I suppose. I would have to say, one moment please. ¿Dónde está? For such an exciting instrument as this lute, to create images of the very art and soul that we prize here in Madinat. For this, I think 250 gold is a fair price to ask.
No. Good. Thank you, though.
Well, if you change your mind, good sir, do come back again.
Maybe if I find something to sell.
Ah. The flowing of the golden rivers of currency are ever tricky to navigate, good sir.
Yes. Okay, so I guess if that's it, I'll just go.
Yeah, you see as you kind of like walk away, he picks it up and kind of strums a little bit, and you catch it out of the corner of your eye, and you see these little like these purple and gold notes just kind of flutter around his head as he strums, and some people in the crowd go, "Ooh, ah!" And he kind of like does a little ding, and then like replaces the lute on the shelf.
Cute.
Yeah. Did anybody else have anything they wanted to look for?
Selenar will impulse buy the first hood or wide brim hat he sees from the first knockoff table on the first street corner. As he is wandering around on the canal street of the city.
Yeah.
It just says like I heart in whatever. What's the name of the city?
Madinat.
Yeah. MD, I don't know.
Yeah, there is a short, old-looking feline woman, and she calls out to you, "You, Elsa! Elster, come here, yes? Oh, yes. Apples in the banana basket knows exactly what you need. Come.
Apples and a banana.
In
What
the
would that
banana
be?
basket.
Oh, for such fine features, you must have headwear. Headwear will protect you, my good elfin sir. Yeah, you trust apples in the banana basket. Here. And she grabs this big kind of like poofy hat, puts it upon your head, and like it kind of looks like a little bit like a deflated onion in a way, but like the top is like bound together and spiraled up in like a green point almost. And it's got like a green band that like keeps it on your head. Ah, you look like a true pasha in this.
Does it keep the sun out of my face?
It does, because it kind of like floops down and like, you know, creates the brim.
It's perfect.
I am so glad you think so. I think it is made for you, my good sir. Please, for this hat, and being that you are new to our fair city, I will give you guest price of 8 silver, my good friend.
I reach into my pocket and pull out 5 silver and hand it to her. This is all I have, but I do love the hat.
Make a persuasion check. And you can have advantage on this because you have your merchant stuff.
Great. Oh, virtual tabletop not found? Sarah saw the first roll.
Yep, I sure did.
It's so appropriate.
Oh yeah, you're not in roll 20 for some reason.
Somehow I closed roll 20. Anyways, the first roll, be shocked, was a 3. A 14.
Great.
Second time.
5 silver for you, my good friend. Welcome to Madinat. The hat is yours. Consider it a gift from apples in the banana basket.
He just continues wandering. Selenar is slightly overwhelmed with the busyness of this. I'm assuming this is the busiest place he has really been.
Oh yeah, like it is a thriving, bustling thing. And it's like in the afternoon now, so like it's people are like buying all sorts of stuff, and like people are talking about going to the other areas of the market to buy like food for dinner and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, Selenar does attempt to like push his ears up into the hat.
Yeah. Yeah, you all reconvene. You have your various new garbs, and what do you do next?
Next, we'll need to find a place for rest, if need be.
We should.
What time of day is it anyway?
It's like mid-afternoon.
Okay.
How long are we planning to be in this town? I think it's great. I'm not in a rush to leave. It's fabulous. How long are we planning to be here? Why are we here?
We are here just for a good time, not for a long time. and we will only do what we need to do here.
Perhaps we should find a quieter place to talk about what we're doing here. What our goals in this city are.
Sure.
Where's
That's
the
fair.
nearest tavern?
I don't think we need a fancy place to stay, but boy, would I like to sleep in a bed again.
Thinking on what I know, like obviously I never had to spend time in the tavern sleeping there, but do I know of any reputable places?
Yeah, there's a modest inn not too far away that like travelers and kind of like lower merchants often hang out in. It's called the Silver Set. Yeah, and you know of the owner. You've never like been there, but you've like heard about it. And it's run by a feline named Slumbering Beneath Smoke.
I'm sorry. What was the name of the place?
Silver Set.
The inn is the
Silver
Silver Set.
Being run by Slumbering Beneath Smoke.
Mhm.
Cool. So I'll mention this. I'll say, well, I've never been there myself, but I know it's a place that lots of travelers and merchants have used to spend time here. So, Silver Set. And unless management has changed, Slumbering Beneath Smoke is the name of the proprietor. Sorry, I should have said that. Yeah, these feline types have fun names.
Is that specific to the felines, or is that like a regional thing?
No, totally the felines.
I love them.
Interesting.
They're cool people.
Yeah, everyone go ahead and make a history check right now.
Me?
Yeah, you can do it too.
Everyone.
I didn't know if there's felines.
There's everything where you're from.
Including many things most of us have never heard of.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Corvus, you're not gonna... Oh, there you are. Haha. Okay, cool. Great. This is wonderful.
I read a book.
This is very good. Corvus and Selenar, you both know two separate parts of this. Corvus, what you know is like the native feline language is unpronounceable by anyone who is not feline. They just don't have the vocal cords. So like natural feline names are different and you can't mimic them. So they adopt names in like the common names from wherever they happen to be, and like usually sometimes they're given to them by their parents or family members, and sometimes by friends, and other times it's just what they choose in the moment, and once they pick one they kind of like stick with it. But because the language, it takes them a longer time to like understand common and like really like suss it out, their names tend to be like either something about a noun and a place or a couple of different nouns. They like put different words together and make what sounds like a name to them. Is kind of what you know from the interactions you've had with a few feline here and there. Selenar, what you know is the feline originated on a continent called Tisklixel. That is the closest pronunciation that non-feline can make. Tisklixel was a jungle continent and very much a unique, thriving culture and society. What you have learned about Tisklixel is that the entire continent sank beneath the ocean during the breaking, specifically the Atlanti Ocean, and the little bits of land that like broke apart and remain are what now make up the peripherals. So the peripherals used to be parts and pieces of Tisklixl. And historically, Tisklixl was a very fascinating, whimsical place. And so the names that were used by Feline there were more pointed. Like they had a better grasping of common on Tisklixl, but when so many Feline had to abandon their home and were caught without it, they kind of backslid a little bit culturally. So because of losing that, they get the names that they pick. Sometimes they are like strategic about it, and other times they just don't care because they know that no other humanoid's ever going to get their name right anyway, so they just pick a name that sounds cool to them. And Feline have a tendency towards capriciousness anyway.
When you say that Tisklixl was, what do you say, fantastical?
Whimsical, but yeah.
Or whimsical, sure. Is that in the same vein as the Elforii would have been in the... Like, is there a connection there between the Fae whimsy?
There's no like definitive confirmed thing, but the Elforii being what they are and were, like it's possible there was some sort of influence at some point.
I also have a note from a couple games ago that half of Sorbonne sank and then Hesshin rose in its place.
Well, half of Sorbonne did sink. Hesshin rose out of the middle of the ocean. It's an entirely separate continent.
Okay, totally separate. Okay,
Yeah.
so different sinking, rising thing.
Yeah.
Okay, just trying to connect dots
Mhm.
that I can.
Sorbonne is far from here.
Yes.
Okay.
Sorbonne is in the northern hemisphere. Hesshin's in the southern hemisphere.
It's winter there. Or at least cool. It is not tropical in Sorbonne.
Okay, I assume that's a place you know of from the first campaign then.
No.
Cool, I just wrote bad notes. Also totally believable.
No. There are a couple party members who are from Sorbonne, so that's why they might know things.
Okay. Okay, so cool. I guess we're just gonna go have dinner together and try to talk about what we're doing.
So you all make your way over to the Silver Set, and it's a modest little inn. It's kind of like all the buildings here are made out of, well, maybe stone or whatever, and they've all got kind of that like dried clay exterior. You know what I mean? Like clay bricks that have then had clay put over it as like another layer. Not a lot of like wood around, but like stone is definitely here, and like inside there's a lot more like metal kind of like holding up things and like pillars and columns. The architecture is just a little different. But inside you find, or outside I should say, you find a like a sign with, it's a metal sign that has like silver engraving on it, and it says Silver Set in common. Entering into the door, you find a large bar off on one side, behind of which is a tabaxi with sort of like gray fur and like black stripes and like tufted ears and like deep green eyes and like a little bit of like red nose and a white muzzle. And they look up and over to you and they go, "Salam, my friends. Welcome to the Silver Set. Would you be dining us, or would you be seeking rooms for the evening, or perhaps longer? My name is Slumbering Beneath Smoke. It is a pleasure to welcome you to my humble establishment."
And I'll step forward and say salam. And will actually acquire both a dinner and a place to sleep.
Well, it is wonderful to have customers. Please make yourselves comfortable at any of the open tables, and I will see about arranging some rooms. How many rooms would you like for the 6 of you? Is everybody interested in their own smaller room, or will some of you be cohabitating?
How much are rooms? How much are small rooms?
Small individual rooms are 3 silver a night. Larger communal rooms are 4 silver a night for 2 people. If you want larger rooms, we can discuss those options.
I think
Larger
now
rooms as in a personal room or larger rooms in
Well,
group rooms?
we have a few larger rooms, 2 of which are occupied, 1 of which is currently available. It is available. It is more of a suite, but you could fit more people in there. You could fit up to maybe 4 or 5 people in there. I see some of you are smaller than others. And for that, it would be 3 gold a night.
I'll take the suite. Thank you.
As you wish.
And just to confirm, I'll be like, the suite just for yourself, or dot dot dot.
Haven't shared the whole time. Why would I start now?
I
You
don't
think
know.
you can
I
sleep in
thought
the same room
maybe.
as me?
I
Although you
thought
have
maybe our journeys together have changed our relationship, but I guess I was wrong. The Majesty will have his own room, and I'll look forward to the rest of the group. I'll be like, all right, I think these two, pointing at Corvus and Ozo, will take a room together, and then these two, pointing at Andra and Selenar, be like, they'll take a room together. I think I might have my own sleeping arrangements outside this locale.
If it'd be more convenient and cheaper for you, you can share the room. It's fine.
No. I do not want to impose on you and your space, or pack dirt into your suite, your royal suite. No, that's fine. I think
You
I
have
have a
family to
place.
stay with? I'm happy to share with you too. It doesn't matter to me. 4,
Not
6.
family per se, but I have to see ahead of time. But
Well, if you get stuck, knock on our door. We're not one to
certainly.
kick you out of the street.
No.
Well,
So
if you are interested, I am, of course, you are, of course, welcome to pursue other forms of lodging. But if you are willing to perform some chores, we can reduce our rate. So you can stay with your companions. Do you have any skills in such things?
me, no, not really.
I see you carry instruments. Are you not a performer of some kind?
I look at the giant guitar on my back and was like, oh, this
This whole thing.
this whole thing. Yeah. Wow, yeah, totally forgot about this thing on my back. Yeah, I carry with me all the time. Yeah, I guess I play a little something here and there.
Well, it just so happens we could use some evening entertainment, so if you can provide a few hours of evening entertainment to lure in more customers, then I would be willing to forego some of the cost of a small room.
Okay. Like Rena's voice cracks a little bit. Okay.
Inside
Yeah.
check.
I mean, did
Yeah,
you have
it's
friends you
fine.
were going to go stay with?
No. Maybe. I don't know. things can change in a year. Maybe they moved away. Maybe they're still around. Maybe the family home is still around. Maybe it's taken up by someone else. I don't know. I do kind of do a little walkabout here in town. Yeah, sure. To save costs, I'll be more than happy to play a few tunes.
Wonderful. Well, let's base it off. Let us base it off of your what your percentages is. If you hit a certain point, you will have the room for free for the evening. If you can bring in enough customers, and if not, then we'll discuss other options.
That sounds reasonable. That sounds very fair.
She
Yeah.
extends a paw to you to kind of shake and seal the deal.
Yeah, I take her paw and go, yep.
Wonderful.
Nothing will go wrong.
And your names.
Professional. Right, and I go around and be like, all right, so that's Andra, and that's Corvus, and that's His Royal Highness Lunine, and that's Selenar, and that quiet one over there, very shadowy and distinct, that's Ozo.
What about you?
And you, sir?
He is the one and only Renata Soul Angel.
Renata Soul Angel. Very well.
Have you not,
I
have you not heard
100%
of him?
get you, bro.
How have you not heard of him?
Well,
He's
So
he's
when
very
Selenar,
young.
well,
comes down
I
and says
believe-
that, is there any reaction from oh my god, Slumber Beneath Smoke?
make an insight check.
Insight
Ooh.
21.
Nice.
You definitely see her her eyebrow like arch, and
When I say the one and only Renata Soul Angel, I create a small breeze to like his hair dramatically fluffs as I say it.
wonderful. She kind of looks at you, raises an eyebrow, and you get a sense that she can tell that that is not your name. Well, very well, Renata Soul Angel. Always happy to have a performer. A good stage name helps, I suppose. Or whatever you choose to operate by. It's always just good to advertise a bit before the evening entertainment, draw in some interest. Well, wonderful. I'll be seated, and of course, the prices for the rooms up front, and that includes your evening fare.
Oh, very good.
During the conversation, I would have sent a message, Andra. I'm happy to share if you don't care, or I can get my own. Up to you.
I feel the same way. I'm just excited about a bed. I am not particularly fussy about. We've been sleeping in tents, and any room with a bed is a step up.
We all know we're not picky. So,
Yeah.
at the end of that conversation, Selenar just puts down a gold and says, for 5 days' time, we'll be here for some days.
Okay, so a gold will get you 3 days in a 2-person room.
Okay.
No, just
for
because.
3 days' time.
Yeah, I know. I just want to make sure
Well, that
everybody
makes-
knows the prices. It's
2 silver per day per person, right?
It's 2 silver per day per solo room.
I thought it was 3 for a solo room and 4 for a double room.
Jack's notes.
I mean, you
I'm
just
paying
tell us. It's
3
not
gold
important.
tonight.
Yeah,
You
I,
just tell
that's
me
all
what
I
you...
know.
yeah. It's 3
Yeah.
gold. It's 3 gold for Lunine. It's 4 silver for a 4-person room, 3 silver for a 2-person room, and 2 silver for a 1-person room.
Gotcha.
So we need a 3 and a 2-person room, or we're doing a 2 and 2, and then Renata's going somewhere else.
We're doing 2 and 2 and master suite, and then I myself will arrange.
Hopefully roll a 20.
lodging. Hopefully roll a nat 20 on something.
It never works, bro.
No.
Cool. Whatever. I'm just gonna pay a gold for however long that is, and that's it.
During that, also, I didn't want to roll out a turn. Could I have insight check, Mr. Renata Soul Angel?
Yeah.
That's my new past tense for checks.
All right, I'll do it too. Oh, look, a 3. I'm so surprised.
Interesting. Huh.
You're so
God.
busy
Excellent.
concentrating on that hair movement.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Renata is just being weird. But like
He has been weird before.
yeah.
But he's uncomfortable because he's in a town, and we still don't know why he changed his mind so rapidly.
No, we still don't know why he decided to come here. But Andre is beyond thinking anyone else is doing anything weird. Whatever he wants to tell people is good. She's still trying to figure out how much she's trying to pay for this room. So it's 2 people, 3 silver a night. So 5 nights would be 15 silver, and you just gave her a gold. So I'm going to give her another 5 silver for 5 days.
Sure.
Sure, yeah, that'll do it.
And
Are we squared up? Because Corvus is happy to let all you fools pay for everything.
and I'm gonna give 5 silver to the nice Feline and 3 to Selenar to square up.
Great. So Selenar and Andra are taken care of.
Okay. I need to
So
pay for Ozo and myself.
right, or you need to work it out with Ozo. But essentially, it would be 1.5 gold for the
If I
5.
offer you this halfling in service for the next 3 nights, how
Slavery is illegal here in Madinat.
I'm just kidding. Yeah, no, Corvus
That
will
wasn't
just...
fair. I just put water in my mouth.
Perfect timing. Yeah, no, I'm just kidding. That didn't ever happen. Corvus will just pay whatever. I don't know how many nights did we say we're staying? It's 3
5,
arbitrarily.
apparently.
5?
I paid for 5 because it was convenient in 1 coin. I made
Sort
up
of.
a number. We're gonna be here for a couple days. It's
Right.
fine.
They've prepaid for 5 nights, which is 1.5 gold.
If we leave early, I'm guessing
You would get the money. You would get the money back if you left early.
Sure. Okay, great. Let's do it. Here's 5 gold, or whatever that shook out to be. 3 gold
1.5 gold.
total. I thought it was each.
No.
He said
That
it
was the confusion.
Yeah, you
that
made
was
it
the
sound
big-
like it was an even number of coins there, Selenar. Sorry.
Yeah, Selenar can't do math.
That is shocking.
Selenar's mathing was confused.
Lunine,
I am
if
subtracting
you
1 gold, 5 silver.
great, Lunine, if you want to match it, would be obviously 15 gold for you.
Yep, Looney just takes it out. He already counted it out. Taking.
Okay, great.
In 2 questions. 1, is there a place to wash up around here?
Oh, sir, in your suite, it is a private bathing facilities included.
Perfect. And is there a place to play cards around here?
Oh, we have been known to host the odd card game. Sometimes some of the guests do enjoy a bit of gambling. We cater to a lot of merchants and travelers, so sometimes such things come up here. There are also gambling dens in certain locations throughout the city.
Is there also a public bathing room for those of us who do not have the royal suite?
Oh, of course. We have a bathing facility at the first floor down the hall at the end.
Excellent.
Well, see you all at dinner?
What's the time is it now? I lost track of that.
Afternoon.
It's late afternoon, getting to evening. Yes, dinner will be served in about 2 hours, so And we will serve it for about a 2-hour period. And after that, it will be a la carte. Unfortunately, the a la carte is not included in your prepayment, just so you are aware.
Great. I think 2 hours from now will be delightful.
Wonderful. Allow me to get you your keys and show you to your rooms. Or have you shown to your rooms. And she grabs and she gives a little whistle, and a young little human boy kind of comes up and she says, "Now, take this fine gentleman to suite number 3," and gives a heavy iron key to the boy. "And these fine guests are in rooms 3 and rooms 4 on the second floor. And rooms... And that's it. And Mr. Renata here will take care of you in a moment." Huh? So the 5 of you are shown to your rooms. And...
Andra is going to go find the public bathing room and have a nice bath and put on her new robe.
Yeah, easy enough to do. You enjoy the bathing facilities. Lunine, when you are shown to your room is a third of the building, like this top floor of the building. And it, like, the building isn't like huge, but it is, it's a 4-story building. You're on the top floor, and it is massive. And you have like the side on the street side. So there's like a middle area, a back area, and a front area, and you have the front street one. And there's a bathing trough in there, like a nice porcelain tub with like tiles on the floor and around it, and a little stove to like heat water on, and there's a kettle on there, and the young boy lights the fire and gets water warming up, and says, "And I can bring buckets for bathing if you would like."
Please.
"Very well, sir. I'll get right on it." And there's like, in your suite as well, there's like big fluffy white linen robes that are out, that if you want to change into those to relax, you can. There's like little slippers, different sizes and different styles. It's like legit. The boy brings up a few buckets of like warm water, like that's been heated somewhere somehow, and flops it in. Is that all you'll be needing, sir? I would be happy to bring you anything else you require.
How about a nice bottle of wine? And I hand him a 2 gold.
Yes, sir! And he darts out of the room. And comes back a few moments later, knocking on the door, depending on your state of dress. But about 5 minutes later, he returns with a very elaborate bottle and label on it, with like one very elegant, beautifully like crafted bit of stemware. This is a special wine that was imported only recently and is aged for 20 years, sir. Kind of like looks at the bottle and kind of like does the math in his head.
Very nice. Thank you. And one last task. Can you just give this seed to the Renata Soul Angel down in the lobby?
Oh, very good, sir. Yes, of course.
And I'll give him a silver.
Yes, sir. If you need anything, you just call on Jamie.
Good man.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. And he runs down, and this little boy appears next to you, Renata. Mr. Renata?
Maybe. Who's asking?
Well, I'm Jamie, sir. Your friend, Mr. Lunine, up in Suite 3, asked me to give this to you. And he's holding a little seed in his hand.
Okay. because at this point, Renata would know what these are. Right. A seed. Thank you. And
You're
I'll
welcome,
pluck it
sir.
out of his fingers. Thank you, Hame.
You're welcome, sir.
Once Renata has it, Lunin will use sending her message on it. Why don't you come up to my room and actually come clean about why you changed your mind so quickly? And then that's it.
So it's like 2 hours till dinner, right? So,
And no one else heard that, so it's
no. It's I understand. Jared, is there time between now and dinner time to run over to my old home in the Dust Barrows?
Yeah, it'd be tight, but you could make it.
So I'll quickly shoot a message back mentally to Lunin. So, Your Highness, but I've got an old home to check out. So.
Oh, you can't. Sorry, you can't send back.
Oh, I can't send. What?
Nope.
Not with message, no.
All right. So I know what it is. I just don't know how it works. And I think it, and I say, I think you got the message. And I'll start heading to the Dust Barrows.
Is it not standard message? Because standard message you can reply to.
I don't.
But only if the caster sends a message first.
Well, it's not actually. It's not message the spell. It's a telepathic message that he can do.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Never mind
Wait,
then.
hold on. I wanna. Now I'm questioning it. Eerie token.
Yeah, you can send the telepathic message to the creature holding or carrying the token
There's no
as.
responding.
Yeah, there's no response.
It's
Okay.
just a 10. It's a 10-mile range.
10-mile
Yeah.
range.
Yeah.
And we all know how the seed works, right? Or am I
Lunin
going to
would have
pretend
explained
that?
it.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Somewhere
I'll
along the
seed.
7 months, Lunin would have.
Yeah, right.
Right.
Okay, we had time for this conversation. So I would get your message, Lunin, and I'll say to myself, sorry.
You can also
I got
send
it.
a message with my new
Your new
serpent.
page.
Yeah, my new page.
If
Well,
he's still there.
He scampered off.
I thought he ran away.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he scampered off.
Yeah, he's got work to do. Some people have to work for their money, Lunin.
I think I'm paying him well.
You are. He's very happy to be on call for you.
Yeah, best day of his life. So Renata will.
Do you leave from the lobby, or like from the tavern?
I imagine so. I imagine I see you guys like get shown to your rooms. And
So
I'll
when
start to make my way
Andra goes
out.
off to bathe, Selenar just comes back downstairs to the tavern. Are you gone yet? This is like 2 to 4 minutes. Not long.
Considering that I saw slumbering beneath smoke raise her eyes at the mention of my name, I'm now like I feel like I'm in a sort of awkward position, just like just standing there. So I will slowly step out as you guys go up. So I would say that I am out the door by the time
Sure.
you
No,
return.
I
back
don't
to
see
the
you
lobby.
leave. That's fine.
Yeah, I mean, you would have been there for a few minutes talking with Slumber Beneath Smoke because, like,
Kumi.
yeah, because Lunine
okay.
like sent the boy after he got water and wine and all this stuff, like bathing water. So,
Okay. Then I guess it might be possible Selenar comes back, is what you're saying?
The reason I ask is if you are still down there when I come down and you move to leave, Selenar would ask if you would like a companion on your quest. If you're not there, you've already left, no big deal. Selenar is going to go get a beer at the bar.
For the magic
So
of
it's up
storytelling,
to
let
you
us
two.
say that you catch me right at the door. And you
Okay.
say, hey,
Oh,
can
Renata.
I join you on your quest?
Well,
And I'll say,
it
quest
would
is a
be-
strong word, but
would you like a friend on your excursion? I've got nothing else going on, and I'd love to explore your city. I don't mean to impose, though. I'm happy to talk to the bartender as well. It's up to you.
Renata takes a quick beat and says, I might need some company.
Happy to oblige.
But
Let's
we'll
go.
have to speed walk, all right? Because it'll be a tight squeeze to visit my old house and then to come back here for dinner.
I'm ready. We don't have any little legs to slow us down.
Whoa!
And I go, hell yeah, tall people represent, and I give him high five.
Keep in mind, Selenar is quite short for an elf. He's only like 5'1".
And Renata's freakishly tall.
Yeah.
Like
I
he might
rolled
be-
that randomly,
So-
Yeah, I think he's
So
taller than
Selenar is
you.
definitely the medium of the party.
Yeah. Renata might
right.
be like a foot taller than most of us.
yeah, I really
what's
stood
it say
out
on
now that
his-
I think about it.
What's it say
Yeah.
on his character sheet here? I know I made him short. He's like small, very
Yeah.
svelte for an elf.
yeah, and Renata's 6'4", so
Yeah, so
Yeah.
so let me rephrase. We don't have any short legs to slow us down.
Present company excluded.
Let's go.
Yeah, you're
Let's
leaving
go.
behind the halflings, basically.
Yeah, that's the joke.
great. The two of you rush out into the city, Renata leading the way, down alleys and back streets, avoiding the big thoroughfares. You know these paths well. As you walk, both of you make perception checks.
A 4. It's an improvement, which means an 11.
Okay, great.
A
Yeah.
9.
Yeah.
I'm,
Renata, you're very focused on
Hi.
what you're doing.
yeah.
Selenar, you're looking around, and it's all kinds of people. You see kids rushing around, like chasing one another, doing all that sort of stuff. And it's just a very like lively city here. It seems that away from the markets, people are just living their lives, and slowly you come to like rougher areas, like things are a little more dilapidated and forgotten. And eventually, Renata, you find yourself in a place where you are very familiar. You find yourself in the Dust Barrow. You find yourself in Talos Rut, which is a street so named because it used to be where all the candle makers had their shops and stores before the merchants' quarter was established. And once it was, all the talloists, all the candle makers, left. So they just left behind empty spaces. And here in Talos Rut, you are very familiar with this area. These are the streets you grew up on, that you played in as a child, and you see that there are children playing in them now. You hear the occasional voice of like a mother calling out for children to come home, and you see kids scurrying for whatever meals may possess here, or may pass here. Renata, this is different, but it's like when you go home after being away for a while. It's different, but it's the same. Selenar, to you, this is essentially squalor. Like anywhere you've been in the Elflands, in the Causeway, this doesn't happen. Like people don't live like this. There are people sitting on essentially stoops and doorsteps that are just dirty clothing, like rags. There are people who are just passed out drunk or asleep on the sides of the roads. There are stray dogs and cats wandering around. And the children look thinner or tougher, and you're not sure if one equals the other or is the opposite. But there's an edge more to the people who are living here in this area of town. And eventually, Renata, you find yourself in front of a squalid little building with an open doorway that has ratty tatters of a curtain that is like kind of lopsided and hanging down, like it's like catty corner. It's like fallen out of place. These shutters are hanging off their hinges. They are broken, smashed. It is dark inside the building. It's squat, it's small, it's maybe 15 by 15 feet with a roof that seems to be partially collapsed. You've come to your old home. It is uninhabited, seemingly, at the moment. And it looks much worse than the last time you saw it.
I assume we stop in front of this building.
I imagine that, like, as we enter this district, my mind is like racing with like all these thoughts. I'm thinking about things going wrong. I am thinking about my past. I am thinking about certain situations and relationships and people and whatnot. I like to think that, like, as we enter this very more visibly horror section, I'm just kind of like quickly talking and just kind of maybe pointing out things to Selenar and be like, surprise, this is where I grew up. And I would say something like, this is probably weird for you. Not my proudest. I don't know what you would call it. Fact, secret, about me. Growing up poor. Certainly, someone like Lunine would never set foot in this place. And I get it. Until eventually we get to this squalid house, and I take a pause.
During the pause,
flooded with all these memories of my life here.
During this pause, Selenar just turns and says, "No one chooses where they're born, or the situation they grew up in. It's a part of you. It's nothing to be ashamed of. Sharing your home with a friend is a special thing. Maybe someday I can share mine with you." And then he just walks on into the curtain.
As you begin to step towards the curtain, and Renata, as you look there, you both hear a voice behind you. "All right, give us your money, travelers." And you turn around and you see a group of 3 small children with rusty knives pointing at you threateningly. And that's where we're going to end tonight's session of Nuuli Forged.
And that's how someone gets tetanus.
Use the weapons you got, use what you got.
As Selenar summons 5 dire wolves, this. This is not
Just-
a good idea.
Tears apart the children.
Oops. Sorry.
Sorry about it.
Friends them limb from limb.
Yeah.
There's actually a hag.
They're all actually fairy folk. Well,
They're actually mimics in child form.
they're all mimics. And the knives are all mimics, and their clothes are all mimics. They're mimics upon mimics upon mimics.
They start eating
Maybe
themselves.
exception.
Yes,
Yes.
it's very Pizza the Hut. Well, thank you all for playing. I hope you had fun tonight. We traveled to a whole new continent and a whole new society, and got some insight into Renata's little hometown, or some of us did anyway. Yes, Takus and Mashu, three mimics in a trench coat. It's a whole thing. Or three mimics are a trench coat, I guess.
Hey. 3 mimics wearing a 4th mimic as a trench coat.
Oh my god. Pff, galaxy brain. Well, I hope you all watching enjoyed this night's evening. We'll go around, we'll say our goodbyes, and then I'll figure out who we're going to go raid. Let's start with Selenar.
Hello, I'm Jeff. I play Selenar, an elf druid. A very small elf druid, which I guess is a surprise to some. And he's a cool dude. I like playing him. And we'll play him again next week. Same time, same place. Thanks for watching.
Full. Thank you so much. Next up, we've got Renata. Or Izzy.
What is up, everyone? I'm Renata. Thanks for watching. And stick around for next week to know more about the origins of Renata Soul Angel, the one and only. Or is she? Bum, bum, bum.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Next up, we got Lunine. Dripping in gold.
Yeah. Listen, I have a noble background,
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
so Tanner, I played Lunine, the non-penny pincher, and I can't wait for more of these Feline names. They are phenomenal.
I love them so much.
I'm glad you like them.
It's great.
I put in the description of my new robes that they come from Bag of Gemstones.
It's very important to know who your
Basket of
your
apples.
soul.
What was it? Apples in a basket?
Apples in a banana basket.
Yes.
Oh, apples in a banana basket.
Yes, apples in a banana basket, which you don't know what that means, but that's their name.
I don't need to know what that means. It's charming.
It is.
It means apples in a banana basket to me. That's just
Yeah. But like, is the basket for bananas or is it just banana shaped? Like, what's it mean there?
Oh my god! Please don't do this to me.
Maybe it's made. Maybe it's made of bananas.
Could be made of bananas too. Well, next, as we ponder these great questions and mysteries of life, we've got Corvus up next.
Hi, this is up next with Corvus, played by Matt. And sorry, he didn't have much to do this week, but he'll possibly try harder next time when he goes out and his new digs.
You've done enough.
So, that's true. I'm trying to lay low now. Yeah.
Wonderful.
See
Thank
how
you.
many people are still friends with him in the party next week.
Well, thank you. Next up, we got Andra.
That is me. I am Sarah. I have played Andra, who apparently has a cautiously okay relationship with her brother. And yeah, we're the Dead Ringers. We're on Nuuli Forged, and we have a YouTube channel, and we're on some social media things. Follow us, like us, do things like that. Pay attention to us. Watch our past episodes, all those things. Tell your friends. Yeah, that's what I got.
Well, thank you very much. And I have been Jared, your humble dungeon master here on Nuuli Forged. Happy Pride, everybody. Don't be erased.
Oh yeah.
Fuck people for trying to do that. We will be back next week, the 17th, Tuesday at 7 p.m. Bright-eyed, bushy-tailed. with hopefully everybody, but we'll figure that out. We're going to raid Link's Tome EC. They're playing a new D&D campaign over there. There's some other LGBTQ plus folks. So we're going to raid there. So hop in this raid. Let them know that they have been newly raided. And we will see you all next time. Be safe, be kind, check in on your friends, especially if they are in LA, because some shit's going down.
Uh-huh.
That's problematic. So, thank you all very much.
Bros.
Yeah, good luck, LA bros. Fuck ice. Let that ice melt. That's what I say. Anyway, thank you all so very much. Thank you, Taco-san Mashu. Thank you, I've Got It. Be safe, be kind, make the world brighter and better. And we'll see you next week, everyone. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.